Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I'd like to thank all those people who like my previous videos and subscribe to my channel. If you have not subscribed as of yet, you can just go down and click the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get notified about my latest videos. So for today's video, my topic is the top 5 surreal films of all time. And for this particular list, I've decided not just to limit myself to Hollywood. I'm going to be covering the entire world cinema, at least what I've watched of it. And so there are also a lot of non-English films on my list. So, and also to make this list fair, I've decided to include only one film per director. So let's start the list. Number 1 on my list is 8.5. Now, when you are making a list of the best surreal films of all time, there's no way you can make a fair list without mentioning the great Federico Fellini. And while my favorite film of Fellini is La Dolce Vita, I think that for this list I wanted to mention 8.5. So this film tells the story, it's sort of a semi-autobiographical film made by Fellini. It tells the story of an Italian filmmaker who is having sort of writer's block. He doesn't know what to do next. He's an artist who cannot seem to find his art, and the lead role of the director is played by possibly what could be called the greatest actor of all time in Italian cinema, Marcello Mastroianni. It's a brilliant film with very surreal imagery, especially several dream sequences in the entire film. But at the end, it's brilliant. Number 2 on my list is Eraserhead. Now let's come to the master of surrealism in Hollywood, David Lynch. Now I know that a lot of people can argue about this, and I agree with them that Eraserhead is not David Lynch's best film. It's either Blue Velvet or Mulholland Drive. But Eraserhead is undoubtedly his most surreal, his most weird film. And I think this is one of the greatest debut films of all time in the history of cinema. Eraserhead tells the story of a lonely person, a lonely man who tries to raise a baby all by himself when the child's mother abandons them. Now I know what you might be thinking, that this does not sound very surreal, but believe me, if you watch it, you will be shocked and terrified, because this film can be listed as sort of a psychological horror film. And not that there's a lot of jump scares, but it has a lot of body horror. The child is particularly not really a human child, but a mutated monster-like creature. And there are also several extremely grotesque scenes. So like all David Lynch movies, this film is not meant for everyone. So I think you should watch a couple of other David Lynch movies before this, like I mentioned before, Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive, and then you can think that whether you want to watch this film or not. But for all movie lovers and David Lynch fans, this film is a masterpiece. Number 3 on my list is Solaris, directed by another master of surrealism, Andrei Tarkovsky. Solaris is possibly one of the, if not the greatest science fiction film of all time. It tells the story of a psychologist who is sent to this space station on this fictitious planet called Solaris, only to discover that this planet has some weird, a weird atmosphere which plays with your mind, and it it literally brings back all those people and thoughts in your memories. Like the main protagonist starts seeing visions, hallucinations of his dead wife, and then at the end he does not want to leave this planet because he wants to stay with his wife, but at the end he also realizes that his wife is dead and it's just a hallucination. This is a brilliant film, and it's a great example to show that how even in science fiction films there is a chance, or there's a good chance you can mix a lot of art in it and make it a thought-provoking movie rather than just a science fiction action film. The next film on my list is another Hollywood filmmaker, and I have not yet mentioned him, but I think if I don't mention him, a lot of surreal movie fans will be very mad at me, and that's Charlie Kaufman. Now, Charlie Kaufman's most well-known films have to be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and my favorite film of his is Anomalisa. But for this list, I have included neither one of them. I have included his debut film, where he was not the director but the writer, and that's Being John Malkovich, my number 4 pick. Being John Malkovich is one of the most surreal movies ever made in the history of cinema. The film stars John Cusack, Catherine Keener, and as you have already guessed, John Malkovich in one of the best performances of his career. He plays himself. The film tells the story of John Cusack's character, this lonely sort of a guy who is having a troublesome life, and he discovers this secret passageway which can help a person enter inside the mind of John Malkovich, the actor, the very famous actor. And now a lot of people start using this portal for their own requirements, and it starts causing a lot of chaos in the outside world as well as in John Malkovich's mind. It's a brilliant, thought-provoking, funny, hilarious film, and I think it's a film which everyone will like. It's not like a David Lynch film. Those who have watched Charlie Kaufman movies, they know that his films, although are very surreal, they are universal. And finally, the last film on my list is by the director who is possibly the greatest surreal filmmaker of all time, Louis Buñuel, and the film which I'm talking about is The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeois. Considered to be one of the greatest surreal films of all time. It tells the story of a group of friends who try to have dinner together, but due to some reason are always interrupted by a bunch of weird incidents or a bunch of very, very weird characters, and it's just brilliant. Plus, the cinematography of the film was also done by Salvador Dali, the great surreal painter. And so you can imagine, when Salvador Dali and Louis Buñuel team up to make a film, you can only imagine how great it's going to be. But it's just brilliant, and I think it's a must watch for any movie lover. Anyways guys, that was the video. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe. You can also write down your thoughts in the comment section below. And so I'll meet you next week, and bye bye.